How's it going, everybody? I'm Brandon, and this is your Raw recap for May 13th, 2013. And this episode of Raw was the go-home show for Extreme Rules, which is this Sunday on the 19th. And to start off the show, they had Chris Jericho and Fandango, which they actually advertised the week before, which they normally don't advertise anything for the week after, or the week after Raw. But, you know, they actually thought ahead for once, and they had this little dance-off thing. So Fandango comes out, and he's wearing some, like, ostrich, multicolored suit dance attire that he's wearing, and Summer Rae, his blonde dancer, is out, and she's matching with him. And then Jericho comes out, and he has some lady who was from Dancing with the Stars, like one of the professionals, but I have no idea who she was because I don't watch the show, so whatever. So the whole thing's hosted by Jerry the King Lawler, and then Fandango dances first, and they are about to start, and then everyone's talking and booing him, and then he says everyone shut up because they need silence. So then he tries again, and then they start dancing, and then Summer Rae trips and falls, and she hurts her ankle. So everyone's, oh my gosh, and Fandango's hella pissed at her. And then Chris Jericho's trying to attend her, and Fandango goes and whoops his ass. And so on the side of the ring, like they had the ring actually looking like it was a dance floor, so they had like wooden pallets that were all connected to make one single dance floor. So he took one of the square pallets of the wood, of the dance floor, the wood or whatever, and he takes and he hits Chris Jericho, and then he gets back in the ring, and then he takes Summer and she hops back up, and apparently she was faking the entire time, so that was not a nice thing for her to do. So they're actually giving Summer a character, so maybe later on down the line she can actually be a wrestler. She can, maybe Fandango will actually get mad at her because she actually does fall and she breaks her ankle or something, and then he I don't think he's going to hit her because that's not nice, especially for a publicly traded company, but, you know, whatever. And then they had some matches. I think they had Damian Sandow and Kofi Kingston and Randy Orton versus, no, they had I don't know. I didn't watch any of the matches except for the tag match, so yeah. And they had Mark Henry come out, and he had the big old strap because him and Sheamus are going to have a strap match on Extreme Rules. So Josh Matthews is interviewing him, and then Mark Henry tells Josh to put on the strap, and he's going to show everyone how a strap match works. So Josh put the thing on, and Mark Henry touched one of the corners, and he was yanking Josh all across the ring, and he touched all four corners, and he was like, "That's what you do, not what I do. That's what you do to win the match." So then he challenges Sheamus to come out, and then Sheamus doesn't come out, and then after a little bit, then he does come out, and then Sheamus had a strap hidden underneath the ring. So then he takes the strap, and they go into the match, and they are not in the match, but in the ring, and they start wailing at each other, and then Mark Henry gets out because Sheamus got him a couple times good, and then Mark Henry leaves, and they have Sheamus standing tall with the strap in his hand. So yeah, strap match, pretty rare match. I think the last time was the Eddie Guerrero versus JBL match back in 2004, but I don't really remember. But I remember that match. It was a good match, you know, even though I was a wee little one back in the day. And then they had the it wasn't after that, but then they had some stuff and I forgot. And so then they had the 6-man elimination match with the Shield versus Hell No and John Cena. So it was an elimination match, so it wasn't just one fall to a finish. Everybody has to be pinned to win, or yeah, everyone you have to pin the other person to win and stuff like that. So Kane gets disqualified because he's either still angry he's probably still angry about the Shield and them whooping the Undertaker's ass, so he was going ham on everybody. And he takes the top of the announce table, like the little thing that says what show it is, and he takes and he hits somebody with it, and he gets disqualified. So then Daniel Bryan is up next, and Daniel Bryan, he was doing a whole bunch of crap, and the crowd was all hot for him. They were yelling yes, 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 and all that good fun stuff, and he did a suicide dive out there, and everyone was hot for him, and everyone was cheering for him, and it was pretty exciting. I was getting into it. I wanted Daniel Bryan to get the pin, but then kicked out. Then Dean Ambrose hits him with some like bulldog type thing where he takes him and like shoves his head in the ground. It's like a reverse DDT kind of. I don't know what it's called, but whatever it is, it's all right. So then Daniel Bryan gets eliminated. So then it's Cena, Super Cena versus the entire Shield. So Cena, of course, gets Seth Rollins. then he's attacking Dean Ambrose, and then Roman Reigns pushes the referee to the side to spear Cena, so then Roman Reigns is eliminated. And then John Cena has Dean Ambrose and the STFU, and then all the Shield members come and attack Cena, so then the Shield gets disqualified, which is actually their first ever loss in competition. So the Shield are no longer undefeated, even though nobody's pinned them or submitted them to win. Well, they have pinned them, but they haven't pinned everybody. They haven't pinned everybody to win a match. So Cena and Hell No win that match, and on Extreme Rules, Dean Ambrose is going to be facing Kofi Kingston for the United States Championship. And I don't know if they said it during the show, but I know that after the show, I saw that it's going to be Hell No versus Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns. So they're probably going to have a lot of gold by the end of this week. But I'll do a prediction show probably Saturday, either Saturday or Sunday morning. Probably Saturday. So that happened, and then after they got disqualified, then they just started attacking John Cena, and he was just laying there in a bloody pulp. And then Ryback comes out, and he looks at him, and he walks away. So you think Ryback's a good boy, and he's not going to hurt Cena while he's down. But au contraire, my friends, he walks back down the ramp, and he takes his chair, and he tees up John Cena's leg like it's a golf ball on the first tee, and he smacks his injured leg or ankle right into the mat with a steel chair, and John Cena's ankle is hurting, and it might be busted or broken again for his last man standing match. So when he wins, it's going to be all that more incredible because he has a broken ankle. And then some more filler stuff. They had a Divas match between that. Natalya actually made it on the TV show, actually wrestled on the show against AJ. And that was a crappy thing. And yeah, so. Oh, and Ziggler, who suffered concussion on the Tuesday SmackDown taping, is not going to be on Extreme Rules. So it's going to be Jack Swagger versus Alberto Del Rio in a number one contenders match. And earlier in the show, Biggie Langston was going to face either Alberto Del Rio or Jack Swagger. And the WWE Universe gets to decide who he faces, either Jack Swagger or Alberto Del Rio. And ultimately they decided on Jack Swagger, which I thought they were going to pick Del Rio, but maybe WWE swayed it one way or something, I don't know. So they end up fighting to a Jack Swagger wins via countout, but Biggie got some good offense in, and it was a pretty even match, and Jack Swagger pulls it out at the end, and then Del Rio comes out and he kicks everybody, and then Biggie Langston comes in and kicks people's ass, and I think Del Rio was the last one. Del Rio was the last person standing, so he was standing tall, so there it is what it is. And then in the main event slot, to close the show, Triple H comes out, and the steel cage is lowered, and so Triple H is talking while the steel cage is around him, and then Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar come out, and then Brock Lesnar and Triple H, Paul Heyman and Triple H talk back and forth for a little bit, and Triple H called Paul Heyman's bitch, and he challenged him to come down to the ring in the steel cage so they can get it on. And Paul Heyman says Brock Lesnar doesn't fight for free and stuff like that. And then Triple H antagonized Brock enough to walk down the ring, and he got him inside the cage, and Brock Lesnar got one shot in. But then after that, Triple H he didn't destroy him, but he clocked him a couple times, and he threw him into the door where Paul Heyman was, because Paul Heyman closed the door on Triple H and Brock. So then he threw Brock through the door, and the door knocked Paul Heyman over, and yeah, so there's Triple H was saying he taught to close the show. So that was that. So not that much. The Miz did return to face Heath Slater in a squash match, and it's going to be Miz versus Cody Rhodes for no apparent reason on the pre-show. So I know everyone is clamoring for that match, but you got to watch it on the pre-show to watch that. So yeah, that is that. I think this was a good show, even though I didn't watch any of the matches. There was a lot of good a lot of good stuff on here that was a lot better than last week's show, I thought. So yeah, I'd probably give it a B, maybe probably like a B to B minus. But it was a decent show, decent to good show. So thank you guys, and look for my Extreme Rules prediction, and hopefully Josh will be here. He was supposed to do the recap, but he chickened out at the last minute. So thank you, and see you guys later.